we're just looking for a motion to authorize the fee to complete the CZM grant application and adopt the resolution of support for the CZM grant for the township master plan. And again, the grant commitment isn't that big of a deal, because if we, regardless of whether we get it, planning commission is gonna come forward and say, hey,
Correct.
we need money to do master plan. And it's either we're paying $60,000 or $30,000 if we're successful with the grant.
Okay.
So,
I'd like to make a motion to authorize a fee in the amount of $2,000 to complete the CZM program grant application and adopt the resolution of support for the CZM grant for the township's master plan.
is there support?
Support.
We have a motion by Mrs. Rose, supported by Mr. Brado. Seeing no public comment, is there any further board comment?
Just a question, is that a typical thing that, the engineer applies for the grants? Is that like across the board, like Clinton Township has their own?
This isn't really the engineer doing it, because Wade Trim is also our planning services as well. So it's really Adam Young, our planner, that's doing that. Dave Newmer is normally our point person, so that's why a lot of his signature ends up on it, but really it's through the planning side of Wade Trim.
So no communities really do their own?
There are some, but they're larger
Some,
communities
yeah.
that might employ a grant writer or have somebody that's dedicated staff person to that.
Okay.
So, we do, I think we've done 3 CZM grant applications in my time here. They probably do them every year, so they're just better at it and it's more efficient time.
I'd like to pay them $1,000 to apply and $3,000 if they get it.
There,
I mean,
we
didn't do it last year, so.
there are programs that do, the grant writer will take a cut of the grant based on what they get, so they get a percentage on the other side, but
As the administrator or something, isn't that what they do?
something like that.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Hearing no other public comment, we'll take a roll call.
Oh, 1 second.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, as I was scrolling through. Is it a big deal that resolution, I think we need to change the date of that to reflect today's date?
That always gets changed. That's just a placeholder based on
Okay.
when they wrote it.
When they wrote it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
Mrs. Rose?
Yes.
Mr. Brado?
Yes.
Mr. Backen?
Yes.
Mr. Olgiati is excused. Mr. Tominelli?
Yes.
Mr. Witt? Yes. Mr. Burkess is excused.
Thanks very much, Board.
Moving on to item E1, board members. On September 29th, 2022, bids were received for our Len Festi water main and sidewalk project. This project includes replacing the existing sidewalk and water main along Len Festi Drive from Henry Joy Boulevard to the dead end. The township received funding through our Community Development Block Grant Program for the sidewalk replacement. The water main replacement is being funded from our Water and Sewer Department. The engineer's original estimate for this project was $750,000, and we received a total of 3 bids for this project. The bidders were Paymar Enterprises at $646,000, Bidigary Contractors at $695,225.50, and Murphy Pipeline Contractors at just over $1 million. The low bid was from Paymar, but shortly after the bid opening, we were contacted by the representatives as we were working to schedule the work to indicate that there was a material mistake in their bid, and they've requested that the township allow them to withdraw their bid. The second low bid was submitted by Bidigary. We are recommending the township award the contract to Bidigary Construction in the amount of $695,252.50. So we are basically recommending 4 different things. One is we recommend accepting the request from Paymar to withdraw their bid and return the bid bond. Second, we recommend awarding of the construction contract for the project to Bidigary Construction in the amount of $695,252. We're recommending authorizing a budget of $23,000 for construction engineering services. We recommend authorizing a 10% contingency to be used at the discretion of the township, and that's going to be Dave Axtell and his department overseeing the majority of that work. For change conditions or extras that may be required during the project. I will say we did hold the pre-con for the project with Bidigary in anticipation of the board approving it tonight. Because of timing of the project, they can get it done prior to the end of the year. And we need to get it done as soon as possible in conjunction with our CDBG money, because that money has an expiration date. So the contractor's ability to get out there lined up, so they're actually going to be able to start tomorrow, assuming the board approves everything tonight.
Where's that $23,000 for construction engineering services?
That's with Wade Trim, so that's for them to be out on site, during the project. So they held a pre-construction meeting, they do all the staking, they do the field engineering, they'll do all the pay estimates and project closeout, as well as, project management. They do the community development block grant, reviewing for our Davis-Bacon wage compliance. So they'll review all those forms and conduct all the interviews as well. So they have to conduct interviews with each of the worker classes in the project. So they have to ask them, how much are you getting paid on this job, and, go all through that kind of stuff, so.
Yeah, I see the breakout here now.
Yeah, so
I just scroll along.
it's a pretty extensive amount of work on this type of project, but we're hopeful. It's a really good project. During the pre-construction, the contractor asked, what's the pipe made out of? And Dave Axtell said, stainless steel clamps, basically. So it'll be a nice project to get fixed. And then we're actually looking at fixing that road with a block grant application for next year. That'd be a project we'll be looking at for next year, so. Happy to take any other questions, or?
What was the bid bond amount?
You know what, I don't know, Mr. Batkins.
Is it a percentage?
It is a percentage, but in talking to Mr. Newmer about it, he said that it was very obvious during the discussion that they had made a substantial error in their, like it was a math error in their project, and really it was not a bad faith bid. It was a mistake that they made.
No, I actually.
Okay.
I actually called him.
Okay,
I called the estimator because I wanted to understand
yeah,
how you miss, quantities like that when you're
Yeah.
getting quantities, so I'm satisfied with that.
Okay.
You just don't know what that bond amount is?
I don't remember off the top of my head. Usually it's like a 10% bid bond, but I'm going, different projects have different requirements.
So this is similar to, the bike path repair where the contractor held the value for inspection days?
Yeah,
Same deal?
yeah, that's usually how they get
Okay.
booked. Yeah. It gives it's like we did talk about last time, it adds that incentive for them to be as quick as possible on the project. So, this project will have most of it done, they said, within about 3 weeks, but there will be some time next year, to come back and make sure we have turf established and that kind of stuff. Just, we're too late really to get grass growing at this point.
And what's the funding stream for this?
There's $175,000 from our block grant program, and the remaining amount of money will come from our water and sewer department. So, the water main was on the list, from water and sewer, and so the sidewalk would have been replaced just because of its location anyway, so it just dovetailed nicely.
Okay, so the contingency funds will be directed by the water and sewer?
Yeah, Mr. Axtell and his
Okay.
team.
Do I gotta do the math, cause I can't seem to find the sheet?
You don't have to. We would just be looking for a motion to accept the request from Paymar Enterprises to withdraw their bid and return their bid bond, award the construction contract for the Lemfesti Water Main and Sidewalk Project to Bidigary Contracting, the amount of $695,252.50, plus a 10% contingency to cover unforeseen issues, and authorize a budget of $23,000 for construction engineering services.
I'll make that motion.
A motion by Mr. Batkins. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mrs. Rose. Any other discussion, board? Hearing none and seeing no public comment, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, board. Moving on to item E2, board members, as I had shared earlier, we are in a position where we need to hire an additional smart bus driver. Unfortunately, one of our drivers may need to take a substantial leave, and that leaves us a little bit short-staffed. It also is always good for us to have backups, even in the event we have everyone that we currently have. We have a recommendation from the supervisor's office as well as the senior center to hire Miss Mary Spears as a smart bus driver at the applicable rate, subject to her pre-employment physical. And the rate is $15 if she does not have a CDL, $16 if she does.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
Support.
Motion by Mrs. Rose, seconded by Mr. Brado. Any further discussion?
No, that was my question, because I was looking for the CDL in the application.
Yeah, I didn't know the answer to that, but it's, our pay is structured based on whether she has it or not.
Yeah.
So, we would get a copy of her license prior to it because it's part of our onboarding process for them. Seeing no public comment, we have a motion to hire Miss Mary Spears as a smart bus driver at the applicable rate, subject to pre-employment physical. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Second and last item, public comments.
Board members, residents, C. William Bardell, 26-year resident, clean cut, do-gooder boy next door. Fix up, clean up, people helping people. I just wanted to remind everyone to check out Save Lake St. Clair on Facebook. Press follow, stay up to date on everything that's going on. And with that, everyone have a wonderful, safe evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no further public comment, is there any board comment? I think this is our last meeting prior to Thanksgiving, so I'd wish everyone in the township a happy Thanksgiving. I hope everyone gets to enjoy the holiday. Hearing no other public comment or board comment, I'd be looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Batkins, supported by Mr. Brado to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, board.
Thank you.
Is the township closed on that Wednesday also, or just Thursday, Friday?
Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, you're hitting on two cylinders tonight.
I had gotten a text from the place my dad's staying at, or a phone call.